Good morning, students. I'm here again back with lesson solid state for 12th chemistry. And in my last video, we have discussed about defects in solids. And you know that in that we have discussed about point defects. And point defects were of three types: stoichiometric defect, non-stoichiometric defect, and impurity defects. So in my earlier video, I have discussed about stoichiometric defect. Now let us discuss the second one, that is non-stoichiometric defect. Now students, non-stoichiometric defect are of two types basically. Okay. Now it is so said that in your non-stoichiometric defect, the ratio of cation to anion becomes different from that indicated by the ideal chemical formula. Okay, so ratio of cation and anion is different, not like that what was there in your stoichiometric defect. Now here non-stoichiometric defect is of two types: metal excess defect and metal deficiency defect. Let us discuss them one by one. First, let us discuss about the metal excess defect. Now you can see the name here is indicating that this particular defect is because of the excess metal present in the crystal. Now excess metal in the crystal can be present because of two things. The very first is due to anionic vacancy. Okay, due to anionic vacancy, or the second one can be due to extra cations at interstitial sites. Okay, interstitial sites. Now it is because of anionic vacancy and extra cations you will have metal excess defect. Let us discuss them one by one. Okay, so let us first discuss this anionic vacancy. Now what do you understand by this anionic vacancy? Fine. Now students, very first point here you need to understand is this vacancy will be because of the anions, and it is so said that alkali halides, let me write this for you, alkali halides like NaCl and KCl show this defect. Okay, as I said, this will be because of your anion vacancy. Let us try to understand by taking an example. Okay, the example which I will be taking is, let me show you the crystal of your NaCl. Suppose in your crystal of NaCl you have Na plus Cl minus, Na plus Cl minus. Okay, I am just showing you how your ions are there present in the crystal in this particular way. Now suppose your sodium vapors are passed over this particular crystal. Okay, I mean to say when this particular crystal is heated in the vapors of sodium. So let us assume that vapors of sodium are there. Okay, that is vapors of sodium, like this it is passing through the crystal. Fine. Now when this is passing through the crystal, it is so observed that this particular Na gets converted to Na plus plus electron. Now when Na gets converted to Na plus plus electron, and as the vapors are passing, what happens, you know, this particular Cl gets attracted by this particular Na plus and they combine. So both of these will be combining, Na plus and Cl minus, that leads to formation of your NaCl. Now what happens is this Cl is leaving its place from here. Immediately this particular electron which you can see over here, this occupies this particular place of your chlorine. So this particular space which is empty is because of your Cl minus. That is why this is referred to as anionic vacancy. Now electron occupy this particular place. Now this space which is observed here is referred to as this place where the electron occupy. Anionic vacancy you can say, where the electron occupy themselves, are referred to as F centers. What are they referred to as? F center. Now this is F center is obtained from a German word, that is Farben-Centers. Okay, it's a German word from where you have got the word F center. Now what do you understand from this F center? So F centers here are colored centers. Colored centers they are. Now what do I mean by saying colored? I just now told you that this particular electron will occupy its place over here. It so happens that these electrons get excited when it is like vapors are been passing through continuously, and when they come back to the place they liberate this particular taken energy of heat in the form of radiations and showing you different colored centers. So in this case of NaCl, let me tell you one very important point. NaCl we all have seen initially is white in color. Okay, initially white in color. But when you heat this, you will see that this particular centers which you are getting are making this NaCl yellow. So this after heating shows you yellow color. So the color results of the crystal of NaCl after heating is different. Now same thing if you are taking it in case of LiCl, you will get back pink color. Okay, in case of LiCl you get back pink color, and in case of your KCl you get back violet color. So this you need to keep in mind. From exam point of view, this is important. Okay, I hope you have understood this particular part of anion vacancy. Fine. Now let us discuss about the second one. Here, okay students, just a minute. I wish to convey one important point here which I missed in anionic vacancy. In anionic vacancy, you will see and you need to keep in mind a very important point, and that is about the electrical neutrality. Okay, electrical neutrality will always be maintained. Electrical neutrality will always be maintained here. Now what do I mean by electrical neutrality? See, initially students, if you will see in the crystal which I have shown you, you were having 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 Na. Initially, at the initial case, you were having Na and Cl ions as 6, and here also 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 you were having. Okay, but after heating, if you will note of Na and Cl minus, you can see that Cl is less. Okay, Na remains 6 only, but Cl is 5. That is, your anion becomes less. Anion vacancy is created. But students, electrical neutrality is still maintained because of this extra electron which has taken the place of Cl, creating F centers. So in non-stoichiometric defects, very important point is electrical neutrality will be maintained at every place. When this is happening, the properties do change, students. When anionic vacancy or metal excess defect occurs, properties do change. Where when this electron comes, in case of property, if you wish to discuss, you will tell that electrical conductivity increases, then the paramagnetic property will increase. Okay, so these things you need to keep in mind. So that was all about your anionic vacancy. Let us next talk about the second point, that is metal excess defect can also be created due to extra cations. Fine. So second one is extra cations. Now students, when I am talking about extra cations, let me tell you that through an example. Suppose if you are taking an example of zinc oxide which is given in your book, and you need to remember this very carefully. Initially this particular zinc oxide which you have taken is white in color, but here also you will see that when it is heated, when this zinc oxide is heated, you will see that it is giving you Zn2 plus half O2 and also the electrons. Now let me show you this by a figure again. If I am taking your zinc oxide crystal, how it looks like? It looks as if you are having Zn2 plus, O2 minus, again Zn2 plus, O2 minus, again O2 minus, Zn2 plus, O2 minus, Zn2 plus, again Zn2 plus, O2 minus, Zn2 plus and O2 minus. Okay, I have just shown you the crystal. Now, extra cations here indicate that from the normal crystal whatever you are having, you will see that this particular Zn2 plus occupies its place at the interstitial positions. This is an extra cation which is entering at the interstitial space. Now when this is entering into the interstitial space, these two electrons are also occupying its place somewhere wherever they are getting the place. So here also students, due to extra cation this defect is arising, and so it is referred to as extra cation at interstitial site, and it is due to the metal. You can see it is due to Zn usually. Okay, now again here let me focus that electrical neutrality will be maintained. This particular point, electrical neutrality here also will be maintained, because if two Zn plus are coming into the interstitial site, simultaneously two electrons are also coming into the interstitial sites. Okay, so very important point here again, electrical neutrality is maintained. Okay student, so that was all about your metal excess defect. You can see that the Zn was the metal which was occupying in its place in the interstitial sites, and Zn is a metal, so it comes under the metal excess defect. Now students, let us talk about a very important one, that is the second part of it. I told you non-stoichiometric defects are metal excess defect and metal deficiency defect. So let me now talk about metal deficiency defect. Okay, so when I discuss about metal deficiency defect, the word itself says that there must be some deficiency of metal. Okay, metal deficiency defect. Let me tell you a very important point in this first, which you need to keep in mind, is this defect occurs when metal shows variable valency. Okay, this defect occurs when metal shows variable valency. You have studied, no students, variable valency, you know, many of the transition metals, that is transition metals, many of the transition metals are showing variable valencies. I hope you are aware, like suppose if I am taking Fe, you know that Fe can show Fe2 plus also, and it can show valency of 3 plus also. So usually this type of metal deficiency defect is observed in such case where the metal shows the variable valency, and this defect occurs due to missing of cation from its lattice site and the presence of your cation having higher charge. So let me try to explain you this, what I just now stated. Suppose I am taking an example of FeO. Now in crystal of FeO, you will see that you have Fe2 plus, O2 minus, Fe2 plus, O2 minus, Okay, now if you continue doing like this, in this case of defect, it is so said that your cation here will be missing. Okay, your cation here will be missing. Suppose you are missing with these three cations, that is Fe2 plus 1, 2, and suppose you are missing with these 3. So 3 Fe2 plus removed. Okay, but you see, you need to maintain the electrical neutrality, students. So what we will do here is, here we will add 2 Fe3 plus. Okay, add 2 Fe3 plus. So let me see that this is the place where I am adding 1 3 plus, and let me see that it is 1 3 plus added over here. So this will still be remaining vacant. But then students, you will see that electrical neutrality is maintained over here. Okay, this was 3 times Fe2 plus, so plus 6 charge, and I have added 2 Fe3 plus, so charge is still maintained. So here also electrical neutrality is an important point to be discussed. Here, as I said, metal is showing the variable valency. In the crystal of FeO, some Fe2 plus cations are missing, and the loss of positive charge is made by the presence of these particular Fe3 plus ions. Okay, now students, this particular point which we have right now discussed is very, very important from exam point of view, because numericals on the basis of this are being asked. So let us try to do one of the question, and let me tell you what sort of question can be obtained from this particular topic. Suppose you are having Fe whose ratio of atoms given to you is like this. Fe is 0.96 and oxygen you are having. Now they may ask, the very first question to you is, which defect is present? Which defect is present in this? So you can see oxygen is 1, but Fe is not 1, metal is less. So you can say the answer to this would be what, students? It is all about, it has a metal deficiency defect. Okay, it is having metal deficiency defect. Now what type of other questions can be asked? They may ask you, what is the ratio of Fe2 plus Fe3 plus, that is, what is the ratio? Or they may ask you Fe2 plus and Fe3 plus percentage. Fine. So let me show you how you can find out the ratio and the percentage of individual ions in your FeO. Now students, when I am taking this FeO, I am known that this particular Fe can exist. Suppose if I am taking Fe can exist here in 2 plus, or it can exist in 3 plus. Fine. Now let us suppose that you are having X times Fe2 plus. Total Fe you are having is 0.96, right? So Fe3 plus definitely would be 0.96 minus X. Fine. Now what we can say is, here electrical neutrality is maintained, as I said. So X times you will have plus 2 charges, you will have X times. So let us write 2X plus 3 charge you are having of these many Fe3 plus ions. So let me write like this, 0.96 minus X is 3 times. And oxygen you know is plus, it is having your charge of minus 2. Okay. Now as it is neutral, I am writing it as 0. So if I solve this, students, you will see that you will have 2X plus 6 3s are 18, 3 9s are 27, 28. So you will have 2.88. Fine. And you will have 3X minus 2, or you can write is equal to 2. So this gives rise to your minus X and 2 minus 2.88. So finally you have 0.88 as X. You can cancel this. Fine. So X you are having 0.88, that is 2 plus Fe variable of oxidation states which Fe is having, in that 2 plus has this amount of in it, in FeO. Therefore, your Fe3 plus will have how much? So obviously it is 0.96 minus 0.88, so it comes out to be 0.08. Okay, so this is the amount of it. Now they have been asking you the first question as ratio, so let us try to first find out the ratio. It is simple. Okay, ratio of Fe2 plus divided by Fe3 plus, that would 2 plus you have found out as 0.88 and 3 plus you have found out at this. So you can see it is 11/1 ratio coming out. Next, percentage also you can find out. See, Fe2 plus percentage if you wish to find out. Then Fe2 plus you are having how much? You are having 0.88. And in how much total was there? You know the formula of the percentage, right? Into 100. Similarly, you can find it out for 3 plus percentage. Okay, so that would be your 0.08 divided by 0.96 into 100. That would give you the percentage of Fe on calculation. I hope students you have liked this particular video, and the numerical you keep in mind is a very important one, frequently asked, and the probabilities of type of questions asked. Hope you have liked this video and enjoyed it. Thank you all. Have a nice day.